Now, constructing knowledge. Cognitive constructivism versus social constructivism. In your opinion, which is more useful and effective in the modern classroom? Cognitive constructionism, for your information, is a state where learners construct or create their own knowledge of the topics they study rather than receiving that knowledge as transmitted to them by some other source. Whereas social constructivism states that the learners first construct knowledge in a social context and then individually internalize it. Okay?
Okay.
Which is more useful?
One of the things I think that makes the class dynamic is the fact that all students are different, and the class is made up of students with completely different personalities and experiences of knowledge, and you can actually tap into some of the pre-existing knowledge that students have and their experiences in order to teach something more effectively, which I guess is relevant to cognitive constructivism. Whereas social constructivism
it relates to more of the social interaction before they internalize it. In other words, they probably discuss the ideas before they come up with their concepts.
Which I think also has a place in a classroom. And again, being an English teacher, I put a lot of emphasis on communicating in the classroom and discussing ideas and things like that. So,
do you think they really solidly form their cognitive constructions first by themselves, or do you think they would prefer to discuss them before they solidly form their constructions?
I actually think it depends on the student and what kind of learner they are, because I find there are some students who prefer to, or they do naturally form it themselves, and then they're able to use it in a more social context. But then there are some students that find it difficult to fully grasp something until they have openly discussed it with other people.
So it depends on the particular learner. Do you find that you can actually control that or direct it?
Direct them.
Obviously, constructivism is not about directing this. It's about letting them do. But do you find that either one form or the other is more effective? Or it just depends on the student?
I think it depends on the student. But I think the teacher can create situations in which students can achieve both.
So you would actually create situations for both styles of learners? Do you use cognitive apprenticeship, which is a process of having a less skilled learner work at the side of an expert to develop cognitive skills in your classroom?
Yes, I do on occasion, but not as a regular strategy.
Why would you do this? What would be the instance of you doing this? Obviously, it's not something you regularly do.
No.
What would be special about a learner that they would require this?
The instances where I would do this would be when obviously there are students that are having difficulty with a particular concept in class or activity, but there are students who have a good grasp of it. And as I mentioned before, the students who are more able, reinforcing what they learn, what they've learned, what they've known, but at the same time assisting the student using a different way to help them or try to help them to understand the concept. But another reason why I would use it is to encourage working with each other. Students to work with each other in the class, and a lot of the students I have come from cultures where in their education system most of the time they're working individually.
So in a way you'd be using a mentoring style of system here, or like a buddy system.
Yes, and again also to encourage the appreciation of differences and different abilities and things like that.
Does it enhance teacher effectiveness, in your opinion, this cognitive apprenticeship? Does the teacher have a role in it, for instance?
Oh, definitely. the teacher, for example, couldn't walk out of the classroom and just expect it to all run smoothly. They would need to guide, for example, the pairs
Yeah.
in what their focus is and circulate throughout the classroom.
Yeah.
And,
So constant
give
observation,
feedback.
obviously.
Yeah, observation,
Yeah,
giving them feedback, praise.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Praise for both.
Yeah, and students who aren't maintaining attention,
Yeah.
pulling them back in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree with this the statement that social interaction facilitates learning?
Social interaction facilitates learning.
Yeah.
With things such as discussion
Possibly.
in the class. Yes, I do. I do.
Okay. Why do you think this social interaction actually facilitates the learning?
Because I think it gives students the opportunity to express orally what their ideas are or what their understanding of something they've learnt in class is. And it's a good opportunity for them to see whether they're on the right track or whether there's any questions that they need to ask the teacher, for example.
Okay. Getting back to the technological aspects of a classroom. Social interactions. I mean, does it have to be personal, or can it be via a computer, aka social networking?
Yeah. I think it could be via a computer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It may not be. It would still facilitate the learning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.